Hello, this is Raj Banerjee welcoming you back to yet another episode of Unscripted, candid conversations with the CEO of HINCOL. In this chapter, we step into the lab, the operational rendezvous, the pilot sites and their roller's path. With Mr. Chakraverty today, we want to understand how the organization turns field problems into engineered products. A little bit of technicalities, the R&D priorities, the products that changed job outcomes, and how performance is validated in the organization from the pilot to the full-scale rollout. And we will also talk about smart binders, recyclability, and how technical choices translate into lower whole life costs for clients. Let's start with understanding from Mr. Chakraverty how they choose what to build. Welcome back, Mr. Chakraverty, at yet another episode of Unscripted. I was wondering, when you set R&D priorities, do you start from lab curiosity or customer pain points or maybe regulatory shifts? I mean, what goes on in your mind?
Actually, it's a bit of everything, and sometimes it is none. If you know how Steve Jobs designed iPhones,
Sure.
That time the customers like you and I, we never knew what was going to come.
Correct.
We never knew what we wanted. He gave us something which became a lifestyle product.
Yeah.
Similarly here, if you look at our history, we started with emulsions in India when emulsions were not being used. So we gave to the country something which people didn't know of at that time.
Right.
And we are still busy in developing some products which is good for India in future, but at present it is not being even conceived.
Right.
And the other elements that you talked about, regulatory things, etc., of course they have an effect, and sometimes because of that we have to do R&D in our state-of-art R&D labs. For example, government is talking about import substitution. India is a bitumen deficient country. We produce about 5.5 MMT of bitumen, whereas the consumption of bitumen is about 8.8 MMT. So there's a huge gap here. So for that it is being imported. See if we can substitute that import with something indigenous. For example, in MS or petrol what we have done, we are now using up to 20% ethanol.
Right.
So that is an import substitution. To that extent, forex is saved.
Right.
That is helping us in balance of payment. Similarly here, if we can do something about biobitumen, bitumen which is created from bioproducts. At present, we are experimenting on two things. One is lignin and second is molasses, which can be used in bitumen.
Right.
We have to see up to what percentage we can use. Actually, the R&D is being done to increase the percentage, which is at present about 8 to 10%, beyond which we have seen that bitumen gets unstable. So experimentation and research is on to take that percentage higher. Similarly, we are also experimenting on ETB, something which is shown here. This is the model of road.
Very interesting.
And people, the laymen, lay persons do not know that roads can have so many layers actually. Yeah. And in this, there are only few layers where emulsion is being used. That is, we use tack coat and prime coat.
Right.
We are trying to develop this ETB, which is emulsion treated bases. If you see the percentage of emulsions which are used in India, it is close to 4 to 5% of total bitumen sales. Worldwide, in advanced countries, the percentage is even higher.
Okay.
So we are also trying to bring other emulsions into other layers so that these cold solutions can be used in case of hot solutions, which will be good for our sustainability and carbon emissions can be limited.
Right.
Another thing on which experiment is being done is HIMA, which is called highly modified bitumen. At present in polymer modified bitumens, we use about 5% of polymer.
Right.
In common parlance, you can think of plastics.
Okay.
It's a special plastic that we use. If that percentage is increased, then the elasticity of roads goes up, and rutting can be avoided. So we are experimenting on that. Apart from these two things that I have told you, if we use that kind of a product, then the thickness of this product, thickness of road, I mean as regards the use of this product, can be reduced, and the quality of road is one thing which improves. At the same time, in economic terms also, the cost of product used in the road reduces.
Okay.
So these are some of the things on which we are experimenting, basis the elements that you named, and sometimes we are trying to give to the market a product that is not known at all to the market, but it is good for future.
That's amazing. At the cost of sounding very, very technical, you really explained to us in simple terms for everybody to understand, me and the viewers, at what really goes on beneath the wheels of the highway when we are driving away and reaching a destination. So it's really interesting to know that whatever goes in and the choices of your materials and the raw materials, it has larger implications and it touches upon various spheres of life, and economy is a really good one. Thank you so much for that beautiful insight, because today we have a little more idea and clarity as to what's going on beneath our wheels when we are reaching a destination, and it's even greater to know that whatever raw materials is being chosen by the organization is touching upon various spheres of life, and economy is one of them. Thank you so much for that beautiful insight, which today gave me an idea, and I'm sure to the audience as well, as to what really goes beneath the wheels of the same highway that we are traveling on, trying to reach a destination. And more importantly, whatever goes in these different layers of the highway, and how interestingly they touch upon different spheres of life, economy being one of them. And so today we have a lot of thoughts to do back home, saying that we need to be more responsible on the connectivity and the roads that we are getting by default. And really thanks to Mr. Chakraverty for giving us this sneak preview to this episode. Moving on to the next question, Mr. Chakraverty, I would love to know, for myself and for the viewers, could you introduce us to 2 or 3 products from your portfolio which really changed the way a difficult job is done? It'll be very interesting.
As I have explained earlier, the HINCOL journey started with an idea to bring highly engineered bitumen products to India. So we started with bitumen emulsions, then we went on to modified bitumens, to be specific, the polymer modified and the crumb rubber modified bitumens. And then we also went into some surface dressing products, like the products which are used for micro surfacing. 2 or 3 products which we have come up with and which really excite me. One of them will be, of course, trackless tack coat emulsion. The second will be the polymer modified bitumen of high grades, which is well suited for Indian type of climate and the temperature. At present, the ambient temperatures are going very high in India, up to 50 degree or so. And generally we say that the road temperature is 20 degree higher than that. So if ambient temperature is 50, road temperature will be 70.
My God.
So we need to have bitumen which can sustain that kind of a temperature. If you use normal bitumen, it will melt. So we are using this special polymer modified bitumens for such applications, which is also used in the airport runways. There is third product which I can talk about is HIN Prime, which is prime coat again, which can penetrate deeper into the road so that the binding is better. These are the 3 which come, which is top of the mind recall for me, which are innovative, really innovative in nature. And apart from that, as I said, for some surface treatment things like mechanized surface dressing, MSD, and emulsions used for microsurfacing,
Right.
fog seals, etc.
Right.
So these are the products which recently we have come up with, and they really excite me.
Wonderful. That's a lot of learning. Didn't you also learn a lot of new words like trackless stack and hin prime and all of that? PMB. See, I'm also learning. Thank you so much for that lovely explanation, Mr. Chakraverty. I would like to know on behalf of myself and the viewers that what is HINCOL's take on a certain buzzword, a certain key focus area of sustainability, and what is your key role in leading the organization towards a net zero by 2030 or 2035?
Sustainability is something which is meant for our future generations,
Right.
and therefore it has to be always in our focus.
Right.
And HINCOL has also taken this in its full seriousness. As you know that the country has taken the net zero goal. The Prime Minister has declared that India will be net zero in the year 2070.
It's a commitment.
It's a commitment. Similarly, oil companies have made their own commitments.
Right.
HPCL has made a commitment that by 2040 will be net zero. But while we talk about net zero, mostly we talk about emissions in scope 1 and scope 2,
Okay.
not scope 3.
Right.
Here, in our case, the product that we are using in the roads, for construction of road, that's actually a cold solution. If I can simply explain to you, you look at the roads, how they are constructed. Generally, hot mix plants and hot product you have seen, which are put on the road, on the top layer, etc., for road construction. But in our case, we are using cold mixes.
Mm-hmm.
It's a cold solution, which you don't need to heat on the spot. So the product which we are using in roads, that is helping reduce carbon emission in the first place. HINCOL has 10 plants at present, where we are manufacturing all the bitumen derivatives.
Mm-hmm.
In all the plants, we have installed solar with the help of HPCL, which is one of our promoters, and we are not using all those heating systems to LPG,
Mm-hmm.
which is much more greener as compared to other fossil fuels. Of course, LPG also comes from fossil fuels,
Mm-hmm.
but if you compare it with liquid fuels like LDO and FO, which we used to use earlier, the carbon emissions are much lower.
Wow.
So we are now going to have 100% solar in our plants in some time.
Right.
We are working towards that.
That's the dream.
That's the dream.
In
That's the goal.
That's the goal
Yeah.
in foreseeable future.
Yes.
Wonderful. Isn't that very insightful and really stands for the commitment that the organization and the leadership, Mr. Chakraverty and his team, are taking to really, really back up whatever they are preaching in forms of practice. That's indeed very, very inspirational and sets a case study and an example that many, many other infrastructure organizations should emulate. Thank you, Mr. Chakraverty.
Thank you.
Mr. Chakraverty, while doing a bit of research, I was, coming across this word called circular economy far too many times in the public domain as well as on the website of HINCOL. I would like to know from you, on my behalf as well as for the viewers, what is the circular economy lens that HINCOL is looking at? Is it anything to do with recyclability, or what do you think?
Actually, you're spot on. We are working towards recyclability of road products. I mean, when the condition of road goes poor,
Right.
whether the same road elements can be taken out, and by putting little bit of bitumen derivative, they can again be put into the road, and the road condition can be made better.
Wonderful.
One of such initiatives we call RAP, that is recycled asphalt pavement.
Right.
And the second we call FDR, which is even bigger. FDR means full depth recycling, means lower levels of the road also we are just taking out and putting some binder into it and reusing it.
Right.
So there is one such experiment or case study that we'll be doing with IRC, which is Indian Road Congress. In the state of Odisha, we have decided to do that. I think in next 2-3 months we'll be taking up that project,
Right.
and then we'll further work towards using more and more recycled products in the roads.
Right.
Another thing I would like to tell you about that will be related to the rural roads. Generally, for rural roads, the budget is very limited. So what we have thought of is, we have a joint venture company called Dust Aside,
Right.
HINCOL. This joint venture company works in mining areas,
Okay.
in the haul roads. They have a special emulsion. If that is used in those roads, then the dust emission reduces drastically.
Okay.
And even the use of water, generally in mining areas, the miners use water to reduce dust,
Okay.
which is again a resource,
Right.
which is to be saved. So this product, if we use in the haul roads, it saves water consumption by about 60%.
Wow. That's substantial.
Substantial. And there are other benefits along with it. Productivity goes up, etc. Now we have thought of using the same product in rural roads. So that will drastically reduce the amount of money which is to be spent on rural roads to make a full road,
Right.
the way we used to make it earlier with bitumen or emulsions, etc.
Right.
Only by using this over a period of time, the road will be totally dust free and it will be motorable.
Right.
So we are working on that as well.
So it's cost effective, as well as it takes care of the conditions of life of people
Right.
in the rural areas as well.
Absolutely.
That's brilliant. It's great to know about the low maintenance, less carbon, and that's a kind of technical promise that reshapes the procurement choices of HINCOL. In our next episode, very interestingly, we'll zoom out. We'll talk about supply chains, we'll talk about standards and digitalization, the buzzword, and the scale playbook with Mr. Chakraverty. See you then, don't go anywhere.